let me start with this. Jimmy, I always find it fascinating. I really, really love it when I meet someone who is so excited and so proud of where they live, and you fit both of those qualifications. Let's start with this. You do walking tours, and you don't charge people for walking tours. You do have a day job. We'll talk about that in just a second. Tell me why you love Memphis so much.
Well, I've lived here all my life. I'm a lifelong Memphian. I've been able to work in parks and recreation tourism for 40 years. All my work is fun. It's exciting things you do with people, and doing that, I've learned a lot about the history of Memphis. And then you get asked to go speak about that if you're representing out on the Mississippi River Museum or Beale Street or places like that. You get asked to go out to do speeches, get people to come down, or the speaker is a step-up guy on the bus, or at a convention or meeting, something like that, a breakfast meeting. So about 8 years ago, I saw that our city had a downtown line program. There's just music and dancing downtown. Well, I said, there's a talking component, a walking tour. I'm moving for free. Come on, just stand over by the Mississippi River. I'll talk about the Mississippi River next to you for 45 minutes and see how I do. He said, nah, we're going to step stick with the music. I said, how about the river boats? That's a great thing. They built those boats from scratch, and they said no. So I said, how about a manhole cover? He said, yes. Well, I didn't have any tours. I could make up a tour that night. There's over 2,000 manhole covers in downtown Memphis, but there's 157 different kinds, 3 different shapes, 7 different. To make a long story short, the manhole cover was the hook. So they put it on the website. The next day, the newspaper called and took big pictures of the manhole covers. The next day, had 91 people in the tour, 2 TV stations, which was double the amount of people that had before Square. So I said, ha! Stars born. I'm going to do this. Like, you can't pay me to do it. And I've stuck to that for 8 years now. It's kind of my whole mission for history, not for religion. And I learn something new every day. I get to meet VIPs all the time. They're the same things that you do. You know, the writers, people like you that come to hear our story.
I'm sorry about that.
But it's people from all over the world come to Memphis because of our music and our food and the location of the Mississippi River. It's fun to be able to share that. It's our third biggest industry in Memphis is tourism. About 10 million visitors a year. Transportation and distribution is number 1, obviously, because of location, logistics, and hospital and healthcare is number 2. So it's an important thing to get out here and be on the streets and talk.
Now, you folks at home won't get to hear any of this, but we've just been walking around just for 20 minutes, and Jimmy is like the greatest, Jeopardy champion 2015.
The category is just Memphis.
This guy knows everything. Now, he could just be making it all up. That I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google a lot of this when we go home from this this trip. So, you say you learn something new every day, but how much sort of studying did you have to do before you put these tours together?
Well, I had one history class in my life. That was 40 years ago, but I worked in these facilities and had the museum, so I kind of memorized the text panels and audiovisual programs. You're here every day, read a book now and then. And I think I've calculated I've read about 300 books with Memphis or Mississippi River as a subject. That helps. And then listen to people. You're giving a tour with Sam Phillips at the Memphis Rock and Soul Museum. The first thing for you to do is shut up and let him talk. He's the guy that did it. He's the one that's put Elvis' first record down. B.B. King and all those guys in Sun Studio. So I've learned to shut up and listen and learn from the people I get tours from, whether it's B.B. King or Jerry Lewis or Ben Colley, who survived the Otis Reading plane crash, with Mark Hayes, just people like that. And then you learn stuff from teachers and other tour guides. So it's made it really easy for me. And I'm just curious anyway. I'm just a magnet for finding tidbits and things like that.
On our program, we talk about ways to sort of rediscover America and go to cities all over the country. But one of the things I always like to do is give folks a few options, things that, maybe they wouldn't have thought about doing in a particular city. Everybody wants to go to Graceland, people know Sun Studio. What are a couple of things that people listening right now, they're coming to Memphis, and they go, oh, you know what, I didn't think about doing that. What are a couple of maybe options that they would make?
Well, not so obvious. We take a local riverboat ride. There's the 90-minute sightseeing cruise at 2:30 every day. And Memphis was founded on this river. It's the greatest river basin in the whole world, whether you think about the history of it. So it's a great 90-minute cruise. The only one between St. Louis and New Orleans on a daily basis. So if you want to get to the Mississippi River, do it here. I'd go to the National Civil Rights Museum, the site of the most watershed moments in the history of our country, the Civil Rights. Dr. King's last march of his life was in Memphis, broken up on Beale Street on March 28, 68. He gave us that speech and raised the temple. A week later, I went to the mountain station force that was killed here. That's been developed into just an incredible site, not about the history, but about current events as well. The new remake of the museum is trying to focus more on things happening in the world right now than really the history of it. That's a really special place. You mentioned Sun. It might have been the Stacks, you know. Of course, Grace is the second most visited house in the country, second to the White House. And I managed to get the government shut down once a year. We're number one, you see, because the White House ain't open. I'd go to Beale Street to visit some of the clubs, and in the South Main now, it's getting to be kind of a hidden district with art galleries. And we have a great zoo. We have one of the top zoos in the country. Y'all have a great zoo in St. Louis, but we have one of the only 4 zoos in America with a set of pandas in it. St. Louis, not St. Louis, San Diego, Atlanta, and Nashville, Washington, D.C. So I visit the zoo. We have a wonderful children's museum. If you've got a family, the children's museum at Pink Palace is real neat. We're children. Pink Palace is our national history museum. I would definitely do that. Take a carriage ride downtown. We have the most carriages in America per capita of any city. And you can look that up. Fact check me on that one.
I'm Googling right
most
now.
of them are Amish-built carriages from up there in Shelby, Indiana. They roll these streets here, and they give a lot of good tours. It's kind of a different story. Of course, we have great barbecue.
Memphis, you love your barbecue. So tell folks real quick what your day job is.
My day job is I'm the community engagement manager for the Riverfront Development Corporation. Our company manages the 280 acres of parkland on our riverfront. About 80% of our riverfront is an open, free public parkland. We kept the expressway from going down right there through here, you know, went around our riverfront. We kept the expressway from going over the park. The first landmark case in the country to save for the environment was here in Memphis in 1971. We manage the overnight riverboat industry that's been resuscitated. The American Queen, Queen of Mississippi, the American Eagle this year, Viking is coming into Memphis. So I manage those cruises with the disembarkation, embarkation, and provisioning when they come. It's a 20-hour day of people coming off and on the boat and provisioning. It's about an $80 million economic impact for our city. 14,000 people coming in out of Memphis. American Queen is housed here in Memphis. They booked 8,000 room nights in Memphis alone. So that's a big boost for tourism here. And that's quite a fun thing. There's something different nobody else does. You kind of heard about now do things like that. It's got time people in a basketball game or calligrapher, and now a walking tour. I do about 200 free talks and tours. Walks across the bridge, across the Mississippi River, in storm drains, illegally. But it's just a fun way to see our city. But the daytime job allows me to do some of these things during the lunch hour on weekends.
And if someone listening right now says, "Boy, that Jimmy, he sounds like a character. I'd like to meet Memphis's unofficial historian. How can they perhaps take a tour with you?"
Well, officially, I'm the historian by the proclamation of the county government, the third line of the city's history.
Well, I may have to edit that out.
Go check that. Go to jimmyogle.com. I got a friend who does a website for me for peanuts and t-shirts. Seriously. And I do this for free and for fun. This is why it's so easy to do. I'm not worried about the way I do it. I'm really serious about being accurate and factual. I don't like telling the ghost stories or other type of stories that sound good. I'll tell one of them and I'll tell that's a lie, you know, at the end of it, but it sounds really good, but I'm not one of those. And just jimmyogle.com, JIMMY.com.
All right, there you go. That's the website address. You'll have a lot of fun. We'll be back in just a couple moments.